Welcome to Up to Speed, everyone, on this Wednesday, June 8th, on location from our June 2022 Leadership Forum here in Basking Ridge. I cannot believe that we are nearing the end of the first half of the year. Helping us kick off this episode, a few familiar faces. We've got Hans providing a few updates on the business, and then we'll turn it over to Sam to discuss our VZPulse Plus results. So, without further ado, let's welcome Hans to the stage. Hans, before we get to your business update, set the stage for us. Why are we here? Well, what's on top of mind for you as we address our leaders here at this forum?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to Up to Speed. I thank every time you get me the chance to be on this platform, which is so important for all of us, how we communicate to all the V-teamers. So I'm really happy to be here. We are here doing the Leadership Forum, as we do twice a year. And we do it in a hybrid fashion, so some of people are here in Basking Ridge and some are, of course, on blue jeans. And that's how we work these days with our work forward, but it's working really good. And of course, this is a moment that matters for the leaders. It's really a moment that matters where we want to come together and discuss where we are and what we need to do. The main focus for this Leadership Forum is a lot around the current state of our business and what actions we're taking. We're focusing a lot on the actions we're taking to see that we win in this marketplace. It's a lot of things moving around us in the world. I mean, the competition is stronger. Not only that, we see also the economy is a little bit more challenging. So that means that we need to excel our execution, be even better on it. And that's what we're discussing with all the leaders, what actions we're taking, how we're moving forward, how we bring all the four stakeholders with us in this process. Because ultimately, our decisions, everything we think, we always need to think about our four stakeholders, so do the right for all of them. And I think that's really what the leaders feel the importance of. And of course, we had our BUs up talking about their plans. We had our G&T. We had our marketing up. We of course, talked about leadership in this time, where leadership is probably more important than ever in these times, to see that we bring the company together and that we reach out to our customers. So a lot around that we've been discussing here, and I think it's a very important moment in time. I mean, and that's why we're bringing them all together. Yeah, and you mentioned those moments that matter, and they're happening in this room, they're happening in the hallways, and hopefully it's happening all across the different parts of our business here. So thank you for sharing all the ways that we continue to lead, Hans. We're going to be learning more about the VZPulse survey here, and how happy are you about this Pulse Plus participation rate? No, I think I've talked about this since we started Verizon 2.0, and we decided to have a frequent pulse survey with our employees. We have constantly seen that the participation come up, and I've always said that, hey, it's so important we get the voice from all the V-teamers. And we had 89% of the V-teamers coming back and being part of this survey. That is the best sort of measurement we can get, that we actually get the feedback from you. And of course, now it's up to the leaders to get with all the V-teamers to see what we're doing with those results. But I think it's so important in this time where there's so much changing. Remember, we still are in COVID times, but of course, it's less than we saw 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago, or 1 year ago. But it has been unprecedented times. Unprecedented times for our company, for our society, for the countries where we live, and of course then being closer together as V-teamers and having this tool that we have and so many of you are responding to is enormously important. I cannot thank you enough for reaching out and taking the time for the survey, and also for all the verbatims you're putting in that we're looking into and seeing that we're listening. So I'm excited, very excited with that. At the same time, I mean, there's a lot of other things that I want to talk about. Yes. So I just want to, yesterday, hopefully you saw that we announced the new leader for Verizon Business Group. Sampat will take over after Tammy, that has been around in the company for a long time and done a terrific work. She will continue in the company being an advisor, but Sampat is taking over the 1st of July. That's a very important thing that has happened recently. Another thing which I also think is very important, our network group is just doing a lot of deployment. They are bringing out the C-band. Remember, we were ahead of the plan on the C-band. But they also now see that the movement of people in this country, they moved around during COVID. So we need to do some extra investment. And we announced, I think 2 weeks ago, last week, we announced we're investing more in Texas and in Florida, where we have seen a lot of people moving. Not only temporarily, they have moved there definitely. And we need to put in more capacity there, which is a great news because our customers are using our network more than ever. So that's also exciting times. And finally, I just want to mention it's a Pride Month.
Yes, it's June.
And it's very important this month for the Pride Month. So exciting times, a lot of things happening. And of course, you will hear more from Sam about the Pulse. You will hear more from the Leadership Forum. But all in all, I want to thank you all for participating in the Pulse because it's so important to us.
Yeah, and thank you again for opening your leadership doors to us for our team. And always good to see you. You know the invitation always stands.
Oh, I know,
yes.
I know. I thank you for that invitation. I will be here more often.
Yes, and we'll get you back here for some final thoughts. But let's bring Sam up now.
Absolutely, Sam.
And really dive deep here. You heard from Hans, 89% on that Pulse participation rate. Sam, first of all, let's just level set. Walk us through the foundations of this particular survey. This is a little different. This one differs from those usual Pulse Pulse check-ins.
Yeah, and I think check-in is the key.
Yeah.
So we do survey quarterly, but the 3 quarters are just a check-in. It's a quick check to make sure, are we actioning the things that we heard from you, and are we making progress on what we have committed to? And then we do our Plus. And that's what this is. On an annual basis, we really get deep and make sure on all those segments and questions, are we making the right progress, and are we hearing the voice of our employees?
Yeah. So let's dive deep into this, because obviously 89%, great number. But really, talk to us about what we're seeing here when it comes to participation. It's good to see the numbers growing, but I've heard Hans talk about 100%, and hopefully we get there soon.
That would certainly be remarkable. I am really, really proud of this 89%, and I'm going to take a minute to say why. Because for the last few years, this has ticked higher and higher. So this is our highest ever. And that's really important because people don't participate unless they trust it. Are you really listening to them? Do we believe you're going to do something with it? And is it being actioned? And the fact that participation continues to climb tells me that we are doing the right thing. We are hearing those voices. And so I think that's really important to take note, and thank you for your time and for sharing that input with us.
Absolutely. So a big, big thank you to everyone participating here. And we know that that means that more and more of our V-teamers want to know exactly how we did here. So let's dive a little deeper into this engagement mean and the numbers. What do these numbers mean to you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, not only is our participation the highest ever, but this number is our highest. And so an overall engagement mean of 4.17, that's an increase of 0.03 year over year. It sounds small, it's significant. And first of all, think about what we have done in the world over the last year. So to continue to see the increases is really, really tremendous. It moves us into the 81st percentile of Gallup's overall company level database. And let me just pause on a minute of why we use Gallup, an external provider on the survey. First of all, they are one of the largest providers of the survey. And to use an external partner who is just truly best in class at this is really important because people need to trust it. And I think that's also why we see participation. We want to trust it, and we want to be clear, it is absolutely anonymous.
Yeah, and the thing is here, we continue to grow, and we are aspirational in the sense that we got into the 80s. We want to get into that 90s there. We have a benchmark that we want to reach here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. 2024.
And of course, a reminder, we actually won Gallup's Exceptional Workplace Award 2022 winner, so high five for that, huh? Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Let's keep diving deep into here, the importance of engagement. What does engagement mean when it comes to measuring the success and the passion of our V-teamers?
Yeah. When we look at this number, the V-teamers who are engaged, we've moved up 4 points from 2020. That's a big jump. That means we now have 57% of our people engaged, actively engaged. That's scoring higher than the Gallup average by 9 points. And so when we look across that of all companies of what we've done, that's really quite significant. And in fact, Gallup also told us that this past year, most companies are actually seeing a decline. And that has to do with the macro environment that we're dealing with and everything else happening. So this is really a tremendous nod to the leaders of Verizon as well, because we're acting on this. So huge shout out to our leadership as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you just think about what is happening in the world around us, both in the office, at work, at home, around the world, there's a lot there that can present challenges, but certainly we're stepping up when it comes to engagement. So as we turn now to engagement by item here, this got very granular. I recognize the best friend question once again here, and as we take a look at the numbers now, what strikes you as something remarkable? I mean, that's a lot of green right there.
It's a ton of green. The thing that strikes me the most is an increase. Every single area is an increase over last year's Pulse Plus. And so again, I think that is we are acting on what we're here. It does not mean that we don't have room to grow. We absolutely have a lot of opportunity to continue to elevate all of these elements. But a couple of things that I think is good. You mentioned the best friend.
Yes.
We saw that one increase, and we talk a lot about creating a place and a sense of belonging for our V-teamers and our accountability as leaders to do that. And employees and peers and colleagues, it's really important. It matters in the sense of belonging and how you feel as part of Verizon.
And I love that you brought up trust early on, because that's what builds that friendship. And hopefully there are more and more best friends popping up all over the company there. So as we continue to look at performance by focus area here, we're again seeing some great numbers. But as far as where your eyes are drawn, we see the biggest increase in empowerment. What does that mean for you?
Yeah. I think empowerment is also so important, right? We all want to feel empowered. We want to feel like we have the ability to make decisions, to make actions, to make an impact here in our roles at Verizon. And we have room to grow. We've made tremendous progress in empowerment. We have room to keep doing better. And so we really want to provide people with the ability to do their job well. It's what we all want.
Yeah, and going back to that 89%, I mean, that is an empowerment statistic. Yeah. 89% feeling empowered to trust the Pulse Plus survey and say, listen, I want my voice heard. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Really I'm one of those believers, feedback's a gift. Yeah. And so people are willing to tell us what they want to see, change that they want to continue to be a part of. We need to listen to it. We have a responsibility to do so.
Yeah. So we've got the numbers, we've got the report card, back at the baseball card, whatever you want to call it here. What do we do with this data now?
Well, in the next week, our leaders are going to be getting their results. And so you'll be able to dive into the tool that you are familiar with and really get into what we're going to be looking at. So that is the next step. Review those results. Talk to your team about it. Create those conversations and create an action plan. And this is really important. We have talked a lot about the action plans, but in doing something with the data. And so how do we really act on what we've heard? These action plans, we have looked at the data. They actually make a difference. Teams' engagement goes up with action plans that are performed on.
Yeah, and this is when our teams can start doing this. Yeah. Mid-June is when we should start talking, and hopefully by the end of August, we'll have those action plans ready. Sam, thank you so much. Any final thoughts for our team? And when it comes, we're here at the Leadership Forum. Thank you for leading our HR team. Any final thoughts on leadership?
No, it's been awesome energy and such an exciting couple of days here. So I think my last thought is just I want to thank every V-teamer that we have. It is tremendous to see just the impact, the care, the love that people have for Verizon. And this is just one more piece of it that people are willing to tell us what they think to make this a better place.
Absolutely. Numbers we can all be proud of, and hopefully we take those numbers and create that action. Yeah. Sam, thank you very much. All right, one last final thought from our fearless leader, Mr. Vestberg. Thank you for accepting the final thought invitation.
Thank you.
Okay, so we talked about action plans. Yeah. And I wanted to, for your final thought today, you mentioned these 3 things that the leaders are going to be doing different, and I feel like that's something that we can translate to our teams all across the company here.
Absolutely. First, let me thank Sam and the HR team for the work they're doing on the Pulse, because it's so important that we continue to see that we're getting the feedback, we're doing action plans. And of course, it's up to every unit right now, as Sam said, to sit down with the result, because we're talking about the high level here, but the action plans in every unit will make the difference here. And I know that everybody's committed to it, and it's a two-way street. The leaders, the V-teamers, all need to come together to do that better. So I just want to say that. Yes. I think that's so important what Sam said, but also thanking them for the great great work they've been doing. One thing that I just want to mention that here at the Leadership Forum, we have been talking about what we can do differently and what we can do better, and every leader needed to commit to what they are doing differently and better, because we are in that moment that we need to constantly improve, we need to constantly fight, we need to constantly be better, and it starts with ourselves. And that's what I asked for all leaders here to think about. I talked about what I'm going to do differently and better, and I think that's something that everybody needs to think about every day, because we are a leading company, we lead in everything, and we want to pivot and continuing.
All right, Hans, so we've got a little bit of homework for all of us to think about the ways to improve. Any other final thoughts? Any shout-outs here? Anything you want to mention?
Yeah, a couple of things. I always talk about the 3 things that I want everybody to think about. I think one is obvious. We have done the pulse. Bring that with you. Discuss in your team. That's something I want to have high up. The other thing I want to talk about is, of course, remember to talk to your friends, to your neighbors, is that our network is the best network, and it's getting better. That's always important to talk to your neighbors, your friends, when you have a dinner or whatever. And the last thing is that you're a brand ambassador. We want you to talk about Verizon, what we're doing, our offerings, and all of that in every encounter you have. So I think those 3 things I want you to take away from this. But also I would like to do a shout out, of course, to all the frontline workers we have. You're doing such an important work for this company every day in the interaction with our customers. And that makes a huge difference for the perception of us, how we're seen as a company, and how we can create revenue, because that's where we are here. We are serving our customers, but we're also seeing that they are getting the service they want. And finally, this summer interns are coming.
Intern season,
we want to say welcome to all the summer interns to become V-teamers for a short term, but maybe forever. Who knows? I mean, it's just great to have them on, and it's a lot of the summer interns coming in right now, and I just want to welcome them all from the executive team. This is a great place to be. You just reach out, listen to Up to Speed. You're going to learn a lot. That's usually how it works here.
And you know what? There may be a couple of those interns that may one day be sitting here at the Leadership Forum.
I'm sure about that. Yeah. There are huge possibilities.
Yeah, there are leaders all across the company.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing your leadership wisdom with us today here from the Leadership Forum. And of course, a big thank you to everybody watching. Have a fantastic day, everybody. And until next time, you're Up to Speed.